Look at this landscape. This is the Iranian desert, an unforgiving, arid expanse where absolute isolation is the rule, and any intrusion stands out immediately. But buried in that blowing sand is a violent anomaly. Blackened, twisted metal that absolutely does not belong here. This photograph, broadcast across international news networks, shows exactly what that metal is: a massive debris field of a destroyed military helicopter. To the Iranian government, the wreckage told a simple, victorious story. They immediately claimed their forces intercepted and destroyed an American military operation. The debris includes components from heavy-lift transport helicopters and specialized tactical gear, all located deep inside a restricted military zone. This specific footprint suggests a coordinated ground operation rather than a simple mid-air interception. This smoldering pile of debris is the ultimate puzzle piece, a physical contradiction that reveals a massive rescue operation that was never supposed to be seen. To understand how those helicopters ended up there, we have to rewind. The crisis actually began when a U.S. fighter jet went down inside a heavily guarded sector of Iranian airspace. While the aircraft was a total loss, one crew member survived the impact. Suddenly, an American airman was stranded alone on the ground in one of the absolute most hostile environments on Earth. The clock started ticking immediately. If that pilot were captured and interrogated, the intelligence fallout would be catastrophic. Bringing him back required bypassing standard protocols entirely. It demanded an off-the-books extraction mission, pulling in the Central Authority for Covert Operations. This seal represents the orchestrators of that extraction grant. The Central Intelligence Agency masterminded the rescue. The immediate logistical hurdle was mapping a route to penetrate Iranian airspace. They needed a flight path that could weave through early warning radar without triggering an anti-aircraft response. To pull this off, the CIA built a multi-layered package. The first layer provided invisible air cover, deploying U.S. fighter jets to secure the airspace. The second layer was the ground component. Elite Special Forces operators were assigned to physically locate and recover the stranded airmen. This translated news report explicitly documents the deployment of fighter jets, specialized helicopters, and special forces. At the bottom, it confirms who was pulling the strings, citing the pivotal role of the American Intelligence Agency. To physically move those operators across the desert terrain and extract the pilot, the mission relied on a fleet of heavy-lift transport helicopters. This level of coordination, pairing CIA field intelligence with multi-agency military assets, allowed a heavy rescue force to penetrate a sovereign radar net, secure a target, and exit before an alarm could be raised. On the ground, the execution was chaotic. The rescue team had to navigate near total darkness to pinpoint the survivor's location. Through the blinding rotor wash and kicking sand, they found him. The operators successfully loaded the airman onto the rescue craft, but escaping the desert forced a brutal tactical choice. To ensure a safe egress, the Special Forces deliberately abandoned one of their own heavy-lift helicopters. In special operations, the calculus is simple. You prioritize human assets over hardware every time, even if that choice leaves a highly visible scar on the mission's record. The primary objective was achieved. The pilot was brought home alive, and the extraction forces safely cleared Iranian airspace. But this image of the severed tail section and charred remains shows exactly what that success cost. The abandoned helicopter became a permanent fixture in the desert. By choosing to leave the hardware behind to save the crew, the military secured the airman's life, but gifted their adversary a physical, undeniable trophy to display to the world. This broadcast shows exactly how that asset was utilized. Iranian state media put the wreckage footage on continuous loop to broadcast a narrative of American defeat. The unredacted timeline, the exact flight paths, and the identities of the operators remain locked away in classified CIA archives. The extraction was an operational success, but because of those burnt-out husks left in the sand, the true story of that night remains trapped between official silence and state propaganda.